Hi class, welcome to Brian A. School of Law, your go-to place for all your legal knowledge and needs, irrespective of jurisdiction. This is lesson 6, wherein we shall review the establishment of Parliament as well as the role of Parliament as enshrined in Article 8 of Kenya's Constitution 2010. And if you haven't watched the other videos which build up to this lesson, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, watch the videos, and share widely to reach one and empower another. Let's jump right into it. Parliament is established under Article 8 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. And Parliament here means the National Assembly, where the members of Parliament sit, and the Senate, where the senators sit. The Parliament, which is the National Assembly, and the Senate shall perform their respective functions in accordance with this Constitution. None of these houses is supposed to operate outside the whims of this Constitution. The role of Parliament, the legislative authority of the Republic, that is the power of the Republic of Kenya to make laws that govern it, is derived from us, the citizens and the people of Kenya, and is exercised and vested in the Parliament. Parliament manifests the diversity of the nation in that every member of Parliament represents the 290 constituencies in Kenya, from the northeastern to the southern part of Kenya. And Parliament represents the will of the people as well as exercise the sovereignty, that is the ultimate power of the people of Kenya. Parliament may pass and amend this constitution and alter any boundaries as provided for in this constitution. Parliament shall protect this constitution and promote the democratic governance of the republic. Democracy here means a government with the people, for the people, by the people. Okay? No person or body other than Parliament has the power to make law in Kenya except under the authority conferred to that person or body by this constitution. Good. The role of the National Assembly. The National Assembly, as we have said, this is the house where the members of Parliament sit. The National Assembly deliberates on and resolves issues of concern to the people. The National Assembly enacts legislation, that is, makes law in accordance with this chapter. The National Assembly also determines the allocation of national revenue between the levels of government, that is, between the county government and the national government. The National Assembly also appropriates funds for the expenditure by the national government and other national state organs. The National Assembly also exercises oversight over national revenue and its expenditure, in that it supervises how national revenue is utilized by various state organs and arms of government. The National Assembly also reviews the conduct in the office of the President and Deputy President and other state officers, and initiates the process of removing them from office, in that if either the President or the Deputy President or any other state officer is to remove from office, Parliament shall have that mandate. The National Assembly also exercises oversight of state organs, in that it supervises how state organs work. The National Assembly also approves declarations of war and extensions of state of emergency. The role of the Senate. Senate is the house in which the senators sit, and the Senate represents the counties and serves to protect the interests of the counties and the county governments. The Senate participates in the lawmaking function of Parliament by considering and debating and approving bills that only concern the counties. The Senate also determines the allocation of national revenue among the counties. And the Senate also participates in the oversight of state officers by considering and determining any resolution to remove the President or Deputy President from office. In that, when the process of removing the Deputy President or the President starts, it shall pass through the Senate as well. Membership of the National Assembly. The National Assembly consists of 290 members from the 290 constituencies in Kenya. The National Assembly also constitutes of 47 women, each elected by registered voters from among the counties. These are the women representatives. The National Assembly also constitutes 12 members nominated by parliamentary political parties. The National Assembly also constitutes of the Speaker, who is an ex officio member. Ex officio means the Speaker has no power to vote in matters concerning parliamentary elections or elections in the House of Parliament. Good. Membership of the Senate. Senate consists of 47 members, each elected by the registered voters from among the counties. These are the senators. Senate also consists of 16 women members who shall be nominated by political parties. Senate also constitutes of 2 members, being 1 man and 1 woman representing the youth. Senate also constitutes of 2 members, being 1 man and 1 woman representing persons with disabilities. Senate also constitutes the Speaker, who is also an ex officio member. Good. Qualifications and disqualifications for election as a member of Parliament. So you are eligible to be a member of Parliament if you are a registered voter, if you satisfy any educational, moral, and ethical requirements prescribed by this Constitution. You must have a degree and you must be of high ethical character. You can also be elected as a member of Parliament if you are nominated by a political party or if you are an independent candidate. If you are nominated by a political party, you must have at least 1,000 registered voters or signatures backing you up. And if you are an independent, that is in the case of the National Assembly. And in the case of the Senate, you must have at least 2,000 registered voters in the county that's backing you up. Good. A person is disqualified from being elected as a member of Parliament if that person is a state officer or other public officer other than a member of Parliament, or if has at any time within the 5 years immediately before the elections held office as a member of the IEBC. Also, if you have not been a citizen of Kenya for at least 10 years immediately preceding the date of the election, you shall not be eligible to be voted in as a member of Parliament. If you're a member of a county assembly, you're not eligible to be voted as a member of Parliament. If you're of unsound mind, you're not eligible. If you are bankrupt and your bankruptcy still stands, you are not eligible to be voted as a member of Parliament. Also, if you are subject to a sentence of imprisonment of at least 6 months as of the date of registration as a candidate to vie for membership of Parliament, then you are not eligible to be voted as a member of Parliament. Or if you are found to be in contravention of any law, or if you have abused any state office or public office, or you are in contravention with Chapter 6 of this Constitution on Leadership and Integrity, you are not eligible to be voted in as a member of Parliament. Good. Parliament is also mandated to ensure that women, persons with disabilities, youth, ethnic and minority groups, and marginalized communities are well represented in Parliament. Election of members of Parliament. This happens in a general election every second Tuesday in August in every 5th year. Every second Tuesday in August in every 5th year, and it happens concurrently with the election of the president. If a vacancy occurs in the office of a member of the National Assembly who was elected, then the respective Speaker of that House shall within 21 days after the occurrence of the vacancy give notice in writing to the IEBC, and a by-election to fill that vacancy shall be held within 90 days. Good. Term of Parliament. The term of each House expires on the next general election, or when Kenya is at war, Parliament may by resolution supported in each House by at least 2/3 of all members of the House from time to time extend the term of Parliament. But this extension shall not be more than 6 months at a time. And this extension should not be for a total of more than 12 months. Vacation of office of Member of Parliament. The office of a Member of Parliament shall become vacant if the member dies, or if during any session of Parliament the member is absent from 8 sittings without permission in writing from the Speaker, and the member cannot offer a satisfactory explanation for the absence, or if the member is otherwise removed from office, then that position becomes vacant. If the member resigns from Parliament in writing to the Speaker, that position becomes vacant. Also, if having been elected as a member of a political party, the member resigns from that political party or is deemed to have resigned from that political party, then that office or that position becomes vacant. If a member of parliament was elected as an independent candidate, then the member joins a political party, then that member or that position becomes vacant. And also the position becomes vacant at the end of the term of the relevant house. Good. The right of recall. It is good to note that we citizens or we the electorate have the right to recall the member of parliament whom we chose representing us before the end of the term for one reason or another. And we shall discuss this in more detail. Determination of the questions of membership. If there is a contention as to whether a person is eligible or not to be member of parliament, then the High Court shall hear and determine any question whether a person has been validly elected as a member of parliament or whether the seat of a member of parliament has become vacant. A question to determine whether a person has been validly elected as a member of parliament or whether the seat of a member of parliament has become vacant shall be heard and determined within 6 months from the date of that petition was lodged to the High Court. Speakers and deputy speaker of parliament. There shall be a speaker for each house, in that there is the speaker of the National Assembly and the speaker of the Senate, who shall be elected by that house in accordance to the standing orders. And the standing order is here just rules of procedure. And these speakers will be elected from among the persons who are qualified to be elected as members of parliament. The deputy speaker for each house shall be elected by that house according to the standing orders from among the members of that house. The office of the speaker or the deputy speaker shall become vacant when a new house of parliament first meets after an election, or if the office of the member, if the office holder is a member of the relevant house vacates office, or if the relevant house so resolves the resolution to remove the member or the speaker, that is, it should be by votes of at least 2/3 of the members of that house, or if the office holder resigns from office with a letter addressed to the relevant house. Presiding in parliament, this is the authority in parliament. At any sitting of a house of parliament, the speaker presides, or the speaker has the ultimate authority. In the absence of the speaker, the deputy speaker shall preside, and in the absence of the speaker, the deputy speaker, another member of the house elected by the house shall preside. If at a joint sitting of the National Assembly and of the Senate, the Speaker of the National Assembly shall preside or shall have the ultimate authority, assisted by the Speaker of the Senate. Party leaders. There shall be a leader of the majority party and a leader of the minority party. A leader of the majority party shall be the person who is the leader in the National Assembly of the largest party or a coalition of parties. Large here to mean the coalition of the party with many members in that house. The leader of the minority shall be the person who is the leader in the National Assembly of the second largest party or coalition, in that the party that ranks second in terms of membership shall produce the minority party leader. And then the order of authority or seniority in the National Assembly shall be the Speaker of the National Assembly, followed by the leader of the majority, followed by the leader of the minority. Good. Procedures for enacting legislation. This is the procedure for making law. Parliament shall exercise its legislative power through bills passed by Parliament and assented to by the President. A bill is a proposed law, and ascension by the President is that the President is the one who will approve the bills to become law. And then any bill may originate in the National Assembly. A bill not concerning county governments is considered only in the National Assembly and passed in accordance with this constitution and the standing orders of the National Assembly. In that if it is a bill that concerns a county government, then that one is only determined in the Senate. Though a bill that concerns the county government may originate also in the National Assembly or the Senate as well, but its determination is with the Senate. Good. A bill may be introduced by any member or committee of the relevant House of Parliament, but a money bill may be introduced only in the National Assembly. A money bill can only be introduced in the National Assembly and not in the Senate. A money bill is any proposed law that seeks or involves taxes involves public funds or involves loans to be taken by the country. Good. Bills concerning county government. In this constitution, a bill concerning a county government means a bill that contains provisions affecting the functions and powers of the county governments, or a bill relating to the election of members of the county assembly or a county executive. Presidential assent and referral. Within 14 days after receipt of a bill, the president shall assent to the bill, in that he shall approve the bill within 14 days or refer the bill back to Parliament for consideration, noting any reservations. In that when the president feels that certain amendments need to be done to the bill, the president might not approve the bill, rather send it back to the Parliament for reconsideration. And once this bill has been sent back to Parliament for consideration, Parliament may amend the bill as per the President's reservations or pass the bill a second time without any amendment. If Parliament amends the bill fully accommodating the President's reservations, the appropriate Speaker shall resubmit it to the President for assent. Parliament, after considering the President's reservations, may pass the bill a second time without amendment or with amendments that do not fully accommodate the President's reservations by a supported vote of two-thirds of the members of the National Assembly or two-thirds of the delegation in the Senate. If Parliament does this, then the appropriate Speaker shall within 7 days resubmit the bill to the President, and the President shall within 7 days assent to the bill. If the President does not assent to this bill or refer it back within the prescribed period, then the bill shall be taken to have been assented to on the expiry of that period. In that even if the President refuses to assent to this bill, then the bill shall become law. Meaning here, therefore, that the President is not the ultimate authority in ensuring a bill becomes law. Good. Coming to force of the law, a bill passed by a Parliament and assented by the President shall be published in the Kenya Gazette within 7 days, and within 14 days after being published, it shall come into force unless the bill stipulates another date when it shall come into force. Powers, privileges, and immunities of members of Parliament. The proceedings of Parliament are privileged in that they are free. Freedom of speech and debate in Parliament is absolutely privileged in that they cannot be held accountable in the proceedings of what happens in Parliament. Public access and public participation. Parliament shall conduct its business in an open manner, and its sittings and those of its committees shall be open to the public. Parliament shall facilitate public participation and involvement in the legislative process, in that if bills are being passed, Parliament shall always ensure they take the views of the citizens of Kenya. And then Parliament may not exclude the public or any media from any sitting unless in exceptional circumstances. This is why in Parliament we have the public gallery, and most of parliamentary proceedings are usually aired via national television. The right to petition Parliament. Every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal legislation. So if you feel that you have something that you want to bring before Parliament within the Parliament's authority, you can petition Parliament. The official languages in Parliament are English, Kiswahili, and the Kenyan Sign Language. And in case of a conflict between different language versions of an act of Parliament or of a law, the version signed by the President shall prevail. Quorum. For any sitting in Parliament to be valid, there should be 50 members in the case of the National Assembly or 15 members in the case of the Senate. Voting in Parliament. Parliament or members of Parliament shall vote on a question proposed for decision. And remember, the Speaker has no vote. And in case there is a vote and there is a tie, then that question is lost. Good. And then a member of Parliament shall not vote on any question in which the member has a pecuniary interest or direct interest. Decisions of the Senate. When the Senate is to vote on a matter other than a money bill, the Speaker shall rule on whether the matter affects or does not affect the counties. And when the Senate votes on a matter that does not affect the county, each senator shall have one vote only. Power to call for evidence. Parliament has the power to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information in certain matters. And we have seen this happening all along in Kenya. And then for the purposes of this article, for the power to call evidence, the Parliament has the powers has the same power as the High Court to enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath, affirmation, otherwise, in that they can summon you to come to attend or to appear before Parliament by force. They also have the power to compel the production of documents, in that if you are hiding some documents or concealing some documents, Parliament has the power to compel you to produce those documents. And then Parliament has the power to issue a commission or request to examine witnesses who are outside of Kenya. Good. Location of sittings of Parliament. A sitting of either house may be held at any place within Kenya and may commence at any time that house appoints. And then whenever a new house is elected, the President, by notice in the Kenya Gazette, shall appoint the place and date for the first sitting of the new house, which shall not be more than 30 days after the elections are concluded. The Parliamentary Service Commission, we have the Parliamentary Service Commission, shall provide services and facilities to ensure the efficient and effective functioning of Parliament, shall constitute offices in the Parliamentary Service and appointing and supervising office holders. The Parliamentary Service Commission shall prepare the annual estimates of expenditure of the Parliamentary Service and submit them to the National Assembly for approval. The Parliamentary Service Commission shall undertake, singly or jointly with other relevant organizations, programs to promote the ideals of the parliamentary democracy, and shall perform other functions necessary for the well-being of the members and of staff of Parliament. And then clerks and staff of the Parliament, there shall be a clerk for each House of Parliament appointed by the Parliamentary Service Commission, and a clerk is simply an officer who will maintain the records and accounts and perform other administrative functions of Parliament. And then the offices of the clerks and offices of members of staff of the clerks shall be offices in the Parliamentary Service. Remember, class, as we said, these lessons will be brief, and if you feel you need more coaching and more insight, please feel free to contact us in the email provided and attend our online law classes. Remember to subscribe to this channel, share widely to empower another. In the next class, we shall handle chapter 9 on the executive. We shall see the roles of the president and the election of the president, and etc. And remember, love one another. That way, the world will know you are his disciples. Ciao.